Welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be discussing Star Collector by Anna Backhausen. I think I got that right. We'll see. Now before we get started, there will be spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiling this comic, go ahead and click off now. No worries, I'll catch you next time. Now for those of you left behind, let's go over some content warnings. There may be references to breakups, gender stereotypes, child abandonment, divorce, Alzheimer's, and homomesia as it appears in this comic. Now, if that's all good with you, let's go and get started. As always, let's start with the synopsis. Finn is far from a model student. He'd much rather spend his time smoking and lazing about than going to class, and he does so quite often. He's even less inclined to attend class when his girlfriend breaks up with him. She was very kind about it, but her reasoning has Finn rather stumped. She implies he might be interested in other things, only being with her because it's easier to go with the flow. He can't imagine what other things that might be as he mourns the end of their relationship. That is until he sees a guy with a telescope after spending a night on the nearby hillside to smoke. The young man is named Nico, a new student at his school. Finn isn't interested in the stars, but he is definitely into Nico. For the first time in a long time, Finn makes a concerted effort to attend class, all because he wants to learn more about Nico. Can he draw Nico's gaze away from the skies and onto him? More importantly, is his interest in Nico love or just curiosity? For clarity's sake, this is an OGL comic, which means this manga-style comic has authors and artists originating from a German-speaking country, or it was first published in those countries. German might have been the original language of this comic. Now to the art style. It's very charming. It's sketchy and inconsistent, but it has a cute softness that works with the narrative. If you're looking for perfection, this isn't it, but I think you'd be doing yourself a disservice if you avoid this just because of the art style. It might be formatted like a manga, but the art's not the quintessential manga style. That's not to say it's devoid of manga style elements. I'd say early in the first volume feels very much like a manga, but as it goes on, the artist seems to find their style, and by the second volume, I'd say it's shaking off most of what made it look like a manga in the first place. It's unique and casual, expressive and youthful, all of which I enjoyed when paired with the story. What I didn't care for all that much was Nico's abrasive nature. It's a nice counterbalance to Finn, whose laissez-faire attitude incarnate, but Nico can be frustrating. Granted, it makes sense for his character as he feels compelled to hide and protect himself, having been essentially disowned by his father for being gay. Still, I found him to be insufferable at times. He sees Finn kiss Zoe before Nico and Finn are together, and rather than ask Finn, or better yet, his friend Zoe for clarity, he just assumes Finn is a player and avoids him. I can understand being initially turned off, but my initial reaction would have been to reach out to Zoe to see what their relationship was, since he seemed to trust her far more than he trusted Finn. However, a goodbye kiss with an ex is just an odd concept. I understand being friends with someone even after breaking up, but I've never thought about giving them a goodbye kiss a few days after breaking up. Just to be clear, this isn't a friendly peck on the cheek or a very quick platonic kiss on the lips, which would still be weird to me, but whatever. But a full-on kiss with Finn's hands on her hips and everything. It feels far more intimate than a kiss between friends. I can completely understand Nico being disturbed by it, as I would be too. It's an odd choice for Zoe in particular, who seems to be very level-headed and who knows Finn is into Nico. I know this is to create some tension in the story, but it doesn't make much sense overall, at least to me. All this is a relatively mild annoyance compared to what happens in the second volume. Before I get into this, I want to clarify that I believe everyone has a right to privacy. No one has any right to know anything about your life you don't want to divulge. That said, when withholding information hurts others, it becomes a problem. Finn is often left to wait on Nico with no indication as to why. Finn is just forced to hang around like that. The reason? Because he's seeing his grandfather who has dementia. Again, I understand that Nico's distrustful of those close to him, fearing they'll leave him, but it hurt my soul to see Finn just wanting to know why Nico's always late, only to be told it was none of his business. That's not to say Finn is without fault. Finn is much more obsessive and clingy in the second volume, and demands information from Nico that he isn't entitled to beyond the whole waiting thing, but they're young, and I think many of these issues make sense for the presumed age range. With all that being said, I like this. It's cute and fairly lighthearted for the most part. It does have its annoying moments, but what more can you expect from a story featuring high schoolers? It doesn't make much sense overall, with odd choices and weird pieces of information being withheld, but it's still a cute story overall. If you're looking for something on the fluffier side, look no further. So, have you read Star Collector? If so, what do you think? Do you agree with my assessment? Do you not? Let me know and comment below. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time. Bye!